right, so the last live start this all over again. So I guess that's why they call me the failed journalist. So anyway, hey everyone, this is Kevin, your failed journalist, and apologies for two things up front. First of all, this is going to be a subject. I don't normally do videos like this. I really haven't done a video about cancel culture that I can remember since the channel days. So this is going to be very interesting. Also, I know the lighting's not very good. I'm in the backyard of my parents' house. We're visiting them for a week. Haven't seen them for, geez, almost half a year, really, because we see each other like every 3 months or so, because, they live in Sacramento, I live in LA, and, well, because of the, C virus thing going on, guess what? Couldn't see them. So anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, though, and that's not why you're here. What you're here is you saw Robert Meyer Burnett, seemingly all around nice guy, trending on Twitter, saying that he needs to be canceled. Now, again, this is probably going to be a little tense, so I'm going to try to be as level-headed about this as possible. Now, what started this is obviously a tweet by Robert Meyer Burnett, because here's the thing, it's always a tweet. And here's just some advice to anyone out there, and it's one that I need to keep telling myself over and over. Never tweet when you're angry. Never, ever, ever tweet when you're angry. It's not a good idea. And another bit of advice. Don't tweet certain things when Twitter itself is on fire because of events that are happening in the nation. Just don't do it. Well, despite these bits of advice that I'm sure Robert himself has heard many, many times, he decided to do this. He tweeted this tweet. Definitely makes this a non-family friendly video, so warning anyone with kids, please turn the video off. But mother effers, honestly, F the looters. Here's the moment every gun owner really wants. You want to stop the unrest? Everyone use deadly force, shoot to kill. Every private citizen, every business owner, shoot the kill. Now then, that is not something you really should be writing in any circumstance, especially not in this today where there's protests and there's literally violence in the streets. That could be considered inciting violence. Interestingly, I think it's funny that he has been singled out. Now, the context of this tweet is this, and let me turn around. This man was defending a shop that, he was retired and he was protecting a shop. He didn't need to do it as far as I'm aware. And he was protecting his shop from looters. And the looters, because they wanted some free stuff or something like that, decided to shoot and kill him. And he died. He was 77 years old. Did not need to die. And this is him. And here's the thing. What's interesting about this is that this, this is what we're so upset about right now. This is why the riots are going on. We are tired of black people being senselessly killed in the streets. Particularly by police, of course, but we're just tired of them being shot and killed in general. We are finally acknowledging that we have a systematic racism problem. We want to start addressing it. We want to start changing things so that this isn't a problem, and we know we have work to do. And just so that we can be pretty clear where I stand on all of this. I was very, very upset with everyone when I saw the video with George Floyd getting senselessly killed by those police officers. That did not need to happen. There's no way it should have even come close to that happening. And all the police officers deserve to be arrested, and they deserve to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and I hope that actually happens. As for the protesting, in theory, I would be okay with it. I'm not as okay about it now because the, creepy crud is still in the air, but any other time, totally okay with that. Looting, never okay with. I think looting takes things away from the message. But here's the interesting thing about this. Because once you take that context in, this tweet that Robert posted isn't that different from other tweets that are out there. I've been on Twitter, which is not a good idea when there's like a riot going on, and I have read some really disgusting things. There have been people calling for violence, calling for eradication of whole races, calling for people of a political party of both sides to be, eliminated from this earth. That's the polite way of doing it. Because we're all mad. Now, it's interesting because there are even some famous people who have put some pretty edgy tweets up there calling for things that are violent and actually cheering violence on, who are not being threatened with being canceled because I guess, because they're mad about George Floyd, it's okay all of a sudden. Look, it's not okay if they do it, and it's not okay if Robert Meyer Burnett does it. It really isn't. But again, when you look at the context of what happened, he is mad because an African-American gentleman who was retired, who was just trying to protect a store, was shot and killed. He reacted poorly. Now, he did double down at first, and he probably shouldn't have done that, but then Twitter is not a place that you go for civil discourse. That's why I pretty much use Twitter to chat with personal friends and to share videos like the one you are currently watching now and articles. Otherwise, I pretty much stay off of it because there's just nothing to be gained from being there, if you will, especially during hard times. Here's the thing. I skipped one thing. Anyway, at one point, Robert finally relents, and he agrees that maybe that was not the right way to word this. Maybe that he was just angry. He should not have voiced his words that way, and he has apologized. Do you think that actually did any good? No, it didn't. In fact, there's a lot going on. So, and canceled. I have always admired Robert, and I'm be a guest on my show. However, I found his recent Twitter posts to be extremely insensitive and dangerous. I cannot support them. I'm sorry. So that's one cancelization. And then you have, you have this story from Bounden into Comics that Robert Meyer Burnett removed from movie trivia Schmodown after angrily reacting to the murder of retired police Captain David Dorn. Again, this is an African-American man. He was upset about his death. I thought that's what people wanted. And he incited a violent image. But then what about so many other people? I mean, look, let's just go to Twitter real quick. And let's say, burn it down. Let's just search that phrase. And look at all of these, check-marked people that are calling for things to be burned down. That's a Carl Tuckle thing. So why is it Robert? Because he was upset that an African-American died. Why is he getting canceled? Like, it seems like inciting violence seems to be the thing that's going on. And here's by far the most bizarre thing about it. John Campea's response. Now, this is like the most bizarre thing because John Campea defends him. He does. He says, knowing Robert Meyer Burnett personally, seeing as he's someone who, 1, hates violence, 2, has been extremely concerned and very vocal about the systematic racism in our country, and 3, is not pro-gun in the least, I was really surprised to read his tweets earlier this evening and the exchanges he had with some people. It's simply not the RMB that I know. When I first spoke with him earlier, he was still so upset about the murder of a 77-year-old man, he just couldn't comprehend how anyone would be upset with his comments. We spoke later once he calmed down and fully realized why people were upset, and he deeply regretted what he wrote. I encourage you to see his video apology. The best people do / say the stupidest things sometimes. We all do. What Rob tweeted was extremely irresponsible, especially given our climate. Funny thing is, I'm not going to disagree with this point, believe it or not. But it should be noted, a lot of people are being very hyperbolic with the violent statements, so I'm just confused about why he got singled out. He knows that and regrets it. Rob has suggested taking some time away from the John Campea show for now, and I have agreed. And that's the weird thing. Okay, look, everything's cool. He apologized. He didn't mean it. You know, we're all saying stupid things right now. We're all so angry. Heck, I'm angry. That's why I don't want to be making this one. But yet he's still stepping away from the John Campea show for a while. Why? On a show where you talk about movies and this topic is unlikely to come up. So, anyway, then he goes on about how, we're living, with, all the quarantine and everything like that. So, it's just weird. So, unfortunately, by all accounts, Robert Meyer Burnett is canceled. He said one thing, and we're never going to see him again, and cancel culture just needs to die already. Okay? It just needs to die. And maybe I'm committing career suicide by making this video, because tensions are high, and here I am defending just another old white guy. I guess you can spin it that way. But no, I'm defending someone who, by all accounts, is a good man, who is kind to a lot of people, who has actually supported many of the causes that the protesters are championing. Sorry, my stutter's getting away. He supported these causes. He loses his cool one time. It's not even completely out of characteristic for everything that's going on his Twitter, considering all this, but he's getting canceled. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you. Robert, I know you will never see this video. You never will. You are welcome on my channel to talk movies whenever you want, because you seem like you'd be a very fun guy to talk movies with, and you are also very knowledgeable. I am sure you have learned your lesson. I have never advocated for someone getting fired over a tweet, whether it's a distasteful joke or something just extremely wrong. I have never, ever advocated for it. Never advocated for it. And this is no exception, especially since the guy has apologized. We should probably just move on. I think so anyway. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you feel he deserves to have his career burned to the ground. I don't know. I don't know if this video is going to even make me any friends, to be honest. But I had to share my honest thoughts. So, what are your thoughts? I'd love to know. Comment below. And look, regardless what you think of this video, what you think of what Robert says, what you think about the riots, please stay safe out there. Please stay safe out there. That is the number one thing. Whether I completely agree with your stance or whether I think you are complete loony, I want you to stay safe out there. I want you to protest responsibly. And I believe we will get through this together. We will. And we will come out better having gone through this. So, anyway, take care of each other. Love one another. I don't know if there's going to be any videos for a little while because I'm kind of on vacation. But, anyway, thanks for the few people who are on live with me, for taking the time to be with me. Definitely appreciate it. Take care.